If you wish to increase your population, your biggest bottlenecks in TImberborn are going to be water and food. But the problem actually is that food is dependent on water. You can't just grow it everywhere. As droughts get longer, you are basically left with no choice but to expand outward. But you'll soon find that there's no water on the rest of the map for you to actually make your farm. Well, worry not. As long as you have enough water pumps, you can make a farm anywhere. You see, when you're in the endgame, you can make vertical farms using these terrain blocks. However, we are not in the endgame right now. This is all about the early game farming. And our options are pretty limited. There is the tried and tested method of using dynamites to basically create canals for yourselves. However, that is not what we're interested in today. There's a building called the fluid dump, and I feel like people need to use this more often. You see, the way the fluid dump works is that your haulers and your workers are going to bring water to it, and then whoever is working here will basically dump that water down. And as you can see, it starts irrigating the land around it. However, using the fluid dump like this would be kind of dumb, you know? Because the water over here is going to have a lot of surface area, and it's basically going to evaporate instantly. So let's try something else, shall we? Let's just delete this. What you can do is you can create a 3x3 block with levees, put your stairs so you can get up on top of that, and actually make the fluid dump over there. Now, of course, this is quite an expensive way to do things, but it's going to be worth it at the end. Because as you can see, once the irrigation starts expanding outward, there is no stopping it. It actually goes out. Quite a lot, by the way. Shall we talk about some math now? Yeah, why not? A single cube of water is 5 units of water, so it's basically 9 times 5, which is 45 units of water. By the way, there is no benefit to making this deeper. 1 block high is all you need to maximize your irrigation over here. And as you can see from this top-down view, irrigation can actually go downward without any limits. However, it does not go up. So if you can find a nice pillar to place this on, yeah, it's gonna do wonders. But how fast does the water actually evaporate over here? Finding that out is actually quite simple. We're just gonna keep the game running and until it's full basically, which is right now. Yep, it's not going to fill it up anymore. Now let's just wait till the end of the day, which is going to be around 18. There we go. And now we're just gonna pause this. So cycle 9, day number 8, we have paused this fluid dump over here. Let's see how long it takes to actually evaporate fully. That's going to be day number 15 done. And we just got a warning for a drought incoming. Finally, we are close to the end over here. We're gonna pause as soon as it basically reaches the end. So as soon as the irrigation starts running out. There we go. By the way, the irrigation's still not over, so the water didn't really fully evaporate yet. Let's keep it going for science. There we go, it just evaporates all of a sudden. Okay, so we started at day number 8. And then basically around day number 18 is when it ended. So I would say it takes around 10 days. By the way, during this time, everyone starved to death because I completely forgot to open up these floodgates. It's okay, we're gonna load the game. But hey, the science experiment was successful. One second, let me go back in time. Alright, so while you guys build this again, we need to go and open those floodgates, otherwise everyone is gonna die, of course. There we go, everything is back to normal as if nothing ever happened. 45 water per 10 days is like 4.5 water per day. That is nothing in my opinion. Wait, how much is that? So a single deep water pump can make 3 water per hour. Okay, never mind, it's literally insignificant. It's less than 2 hours work with a single pump. And if you're playing folktales, then water is even less of an issue because you get the better amazing super duper pumps. Here you go. Once you're in the end game, you can basically get away with this. You place the same thing on top of your vertical farm and it irrigates everything underneath it as well. Irrigation is weird like that, okay? It just travels downward without anything stopping it. Hey, if you're interested in this vertical farm build, I have a video on this up on my channel. I'm gonna link it at the end of this video. So with every single lesson that we've learned so far, we are going to make another one of these up here. Hopefully this will let us, irrigate the rest of this land as well. And lovely. Yeah, it does exactly what we thought it would. If you look at it from the top, yeah, the circle basically expands over here. However, it has diminishing returns as, you go further up, vertically of course. Hey, what's the point of having all of this new farming area if you're not going to use it? By the way, here's another tip that also applies if you're playing folktales. Basically, you should have at least one farm nearby where the priority is set to harvest. Ideally, I have found the best results being when 2 farms are harvesting and only one of them is planting. But hey, maybe we can do some science about that some other day. Over here though, we're just going to have 2 farms. One of them is going to be set to harvest while the other one is going to be planting. Lovely. By the way, here's a rough estimate of just how much water you actually need. A single beaver is going to roughly eat up 2 units of water and 2 units of food per day. So if you're in hard mode and the longest drought/bad tide can last 30 days, so in our case, we have around, say, let's just assume 75 beavers, right? So 75 beavers times 2 is 150 water per day, and if it's gonna last 30 days, then we basically need 4.5k water stored. That is the amount you should be aiming to store over here, and these large water bottles are incredibly useful for that. Let's just place another one up here. Yeah, lovely. Anyway, we're gonna call it over here because these videos are supposed to be quick. Yeah, I don't want to go on for 30 minutes about something that can be explained in just 5, okay? That would be insane. Smash that subscribe button and join me next time, as we have already made our way up here and we just need to deal with the bad tide situation once and for all, so we can stop doing this annoying stuff over here, okay? Yeah, this is not fun to do, let's be honest.